Converting to general form, otherwise known as what you see on the right, the FOIL method. I've heard over the years of students' stories of middle school and other times when teachers would dress up as things like Foil Man or have elaborate ways of teaching this. I pulled up a simple one, really, just to remind you in a color coded way what this means in a longhand way. If we're expanding two different parentheses filled expressions, so you have some type of x on each of them and then some type of number, you have to do it in 4 steps. You have to multiply the first two numbers together, so x and x, which on our problems that's going to be most of them, or just x and x, which make, as you can see in red, x squared. Then the O in FOIL is the outside terms. So on the ends here, I've got my x and my 1. That simply just combines. So that's 1x or just x. Then the inside terms, the 9 and x, that multiplies together and simply combines to 9x. And then finally the last terms, the end terms, the 9 and the 1 multiply together to make 9. What's not included here is the simplifying in like terms between 9x and 1x combining to make 10x, to where if you were to write out the final foiled version of this, it would be x squared. Combining the 9x and 1x make a positive 10x, and then that positive 9. Today, I am going to teach you a little faster way of doing this, but I wanted to make sure you know the long way of doing it and where this all comes from. So there you go. There's a little short little explanation. You could pause this now if you need to look at this diagram a little more. If not, let's close it up and dive right in. As always, I hope that you have your Desmos calculator out, because we're going to need it for this problem. You can see what we did last time. I'll close out of that. All right. Number 1, you should see something very much like the example that I just had. You're not going to probably have the exact numbers of 4 and 8, but you will have some numbers similar to this. Right off the bat, anytime we have our x and x, just do me a favor and start by typing in x squared. So x, and then for these, they give us this huge, nice box with all of these symbols, including this one, where my arrow is pointing right now. Look at that screen. Boom. That's your exponent symbol. Put a little 2 there. Then always be in the habit of pressing the right arrow, because if you don't, check it out, it's going to be stuck up there, and then you're going to have to delete some stuff, then hit right arrow again, or it's going to count it wrong. Okay. Now, normally you do the O and I in FOIL, right? The outside and inside term. Then you have to combine it, blah, blah, blah. Instead, as long as we have just an x and an x term, we can simply just take the two numbers in our problem. In this case, that's 4 and 8. And we could add them together. 4 plus 8. Now, maybe you know what that is in the top of your head. And if you don't feel shy. The great thing about doing this at home is you never have to feel shy for doing anything in your calculator. No one's going to know. Add it up. Positive 12. So notice, because it's a positive 12, I put plus 12. And then here is a key detail to remember when we're doing this shortcut. Always have to put an x in the middle. It's a little tougher to remember because we're skipping the outside and inside x terms and then combining the like terms. Just remember to put an x in the middle. And then finally, we added for the middle term. Let's take the same two numbers and multiply them for the last term. So 4 times 8, 32, positive 32. So that goes by itself at the end. So we have an x squared term, we have our adding together with an x in the middle, and our multiplying together on the end. It's a lot to take in all at once. Oh, come on, I gotta re-log in. Oh my gosh. All right, well, if this ever happens to you, this is the first time this happened since I've started filming these videos, I'm just going to have to say, we can all empathize with what's going on. Sometimes the system just quits you out, and you have to go back in, and we are on converting to general form. Okay. Sometimes it happens when you've logged out for too often. You haven't re-logged in a while. Sometimes this happens where you have to retype it in. So that's fine. I know what it is. X squared, and then we have plus 12x plus 32. And now it's going to work, right? Hopefully, please. Superstar. Okay. Then, let's move on to this one that has minuses in both. So once again, the x squared first. Now I need to add, so you can even leave this up like I'm doing here. Add your two numbers on this first blank. So you can either put plus -5, or you can just leave it as -10 minus 5. Maybe I'll leave the plus in there for the ease. So I've got my -15. And then again, I cannot forget the x in the middle. And then I need to multiply those two numbers together on bottom. -10 times -5. A negative and a negative, when you're multiplying or dividing, always make a positive, so plus 50. Which I would get in trouble as a kid because sometimes people would say, hey, come on, Dylan, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I said, they do if you multiply or divide. That got me in trouble a lot more than it got me out of trouble. But, it's mathematically true. So there you go. All right, now I'm just going to go through this habit of replacing my numbers in both directions before I even start with anything else. So -8 and 10. Now I can just use this shortcut function here. I've got my x squared. It's a +2. I'm not going to forget the x. You guys might have to miss 1 or 2 out there and redo it before you remember to type in that x every time. It just takes a lot of retraining your brain. All right, now my numbers are a +2 and a -3. I really like this idea of just leaving up each time on your Desmos calculator and just replacing the numbers. Okay, -1x. We should, anytime you have a 1 next to an x, just get rid of the 1. Because 1x is the same as just x. However, I'm going to do you a favor before you guys potentially miss this. And I'm going to see if it accepts it. Because these often are very friendly. And it does. Okay, so if you forget to eliminate the 1, then it still counts it right. But just in general, be in the habit of good form. If there's a 1 next to an x, just like if there's a 1 next to an x squared or any other x term, just get rid of it. It doesn't need it. It's redundant. How about that pun? Redundant. Oh. All right, number 5. Okay, we have a negative here, all right? So I'm going to teach you what to do with that at the end. For now, let's ignore it and just do the same thing we've been doing. So I've got -9 and, -3 again, the first time it's repeated. So check this out. I'm not forgetting about the 1, and certainly don't hit check until I'm done. I'm not done explaining this. But I want to show you the easiest way I think to do this. So we have x squared. Then we'd normally have -12x. Notice I say normally. And then a +27. I didn't forget about the x in the middle. Because of this negative, remember what this meant graphically. That if we had a regular U shape, it got flipped upside down and reflected across the x-axis. Likewise, that would mean that all of these numbers were flipped. And the way to really flip numbers, at least when you're working with negatives and positives, is to change the sign in front of them. So watch this. At the end, all I have to do is change all 3 signs. So at the beginning, instead of x squared, I make this -x squared. In the middle, instead of -12x, I change it to a +12x. And instead of a +27, I change it to a -27. If you do all 3 symbols at once, it becomes pretty straightforward and you don't make mistakes. If you try and do them one at a time, sometimes you can remember 1 or 2, but then you forget the second or third one, and you get into a problem. So I'm going to demonstrate that again, because once again, that was a lot, very fast, but good news, just like the ones before. We have the same steps each time. So I've got -2 and a +4. So normally, again, this would be x squared, positive 2x minus 8. 8. Got a southern accent this morning. But now we need to change all 3 symbols. So we can also go right to left. Make this a plus. Make the middle a minus. Make the end the minus. You're always going to have -x squared. That's something to hopefully always remember to do. And then the others, you just have to remember to change both signs. And I will show you with the next one how to potentially do that one at a time. Okay, so if this is a little too cumbersome to go one at a time. Plus negative 10. All right. So if it's a little too much just to be like, okay, I don't know, this seems too disjointed, it's all separate. Let's just try doing this in the moment. Instead of x squared, I know it's going to be negative x squared. I'm just going to type that automatically. Instead of negative 3x, I'm just going to do the opposite right now and type positive 3x. And instead of negative 70, I'm going to type the opposite, positive 70. If you do it like that, you never have to go back and replace any symbols. You just have to remember to change all three. So it's up to you whether you want to do it in the moment, whether you want to go back and change all three. I'll do one more where I do it in the moment. Negative x squared. Then 3 plus 6 normally is 9, positive 9, so I make it negative 9x. And 3 times 6 is normally positive 18. I just make it minus 18. That one I skipped the Desmos because I've done it for the other 7. And I got to do what I need to do to keep me mentally sharp right now. So got to do occasionally a couple in my head. All right. 9 and 10, our last set of problems that are different. So notice for the first time we don't have x and x. We have something else with our x's. In this case, 5x. That's fine. It just means we need to multiply our first term together separately. So 5 times 5. Just taking these two numbers together. 5 times 5 is 25. So I put in not x squared, but 25x squared. Okay. Then, check it out. I'm adding together still the same two numbers that are in the same two spots. Negative 4 plus 4. That adds to 0. And in fact, it's true. If you have the same exact expression, 5x minus 4, but you just change the middle sign, so I've got 5x minus 4 and 5x plus 4. Every single time you ever do one of these, you could just tell yourself, that means I'm not going to have to write a middle term, and I'm not going to have to remember that pesky x in the middle, which is nice, especially in a problem that you had something new for the first time with this first expression times each other. Instead, all I have to do is do what I did before and multiply my numbers together. I get negative 16. That's all I have to put at the end here because the middle x term was 0. It canceled. Yay! And I have one that's way too similar, so I'm going to intentionally just miss this real quick. This is going to be wrong because I want to redo it and get one that has something other than 5x and 5x because I like to be a better teacher than that. There we go, 9x and 9x. All right, 9 times 9. Let's go over here and see. Do you know that off the top of your head? If so, good job. 81. There's something called the nines trick. I can't really show you with my hands right now, but basically if you stick out both hands and you see how you have 5 fingers on the left and 5 fingers on the right, if you put down your 9th finger only, so that's your right ring finger, the second to the right finger, and you leave up the rest, you can see how you have a clump of 5 with a clump of 3 on the left, that forms an 8, and then on the right you've just got your pinky sticking up for the 1, 81. You could do the same thing by just putting your right middle finger down and getting 72, and your right pointer finger of 63, and so forth. It works for all 10 fingers. It's called the nines trick, or the multiplying by nines trick. It's pretty cool. 81x squared. My middle term again is going to go to 0. 4 minus 4 is 0, so then I just have 4 times 4. Hey, I had that before, minus 16. All right, that's it. Hopefully, that makes sense out there. This is one that is a little complicated to do remotely, but I had to give it a go. And hopefully the notes at the beginning helped, and my explanation of the shortcut helped. Maybe even the nines trick thing helped. Oh my gosh, 20 hours. That's right, I opened this yesterday and wanted to find some good notes on it first before beginning this video. And I did, so that's why it took almost 20 and a half hours to do. As always, this has been your math teacher, Dylan, wishing you the best from afar. Digital learning it up. Have an absolutely wonderful day, week, and in really life. Take care. Peace.